who has not been seen in public since
Hello. This is Betty Solo. I need to put this up today. This must be heard. Regardless of how people feel, they need to hear this. I mean, this is mind-blowing for me. So I'm going to turn down the music. I'm going to let you hear exactly what I've been hearing this morning. And it's very worth listening to so you guys can understand what's going on behind the scene.
Shows no sign of breaking. Mike Johnson says the House will not return to session at all next week. John Thune adjourned the Senate for the weekend after failing to pass a government funding bill for the fourth time. And Donald Trump seems to be missing in action. Donald Trump, who has not been seen in public since Tuesday, the day, you will recall, of his bizarre and unnerving speech to military leaders, might just be in what House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries calls the Presidential Witness Protection Program.
Throughout this week, Donald Trump has been missing in action. He remains in the Presidential Witness Protection Program. House Republicans are on vacation all across the country and the world, and Senate Republicans continue to vote on the same partisan Republican spending bill that's dead on arrival because it guts the health care of the American people.
Now, it's not just Democrats blaming Donald Trump and Republicans. Donald Trump's dictator shtick, his "I alone can fix it," has one problem. He said that he alone would fix it. And that's why Trump is polling in the worst in the shutdown fight. 47% blame Trump and Republicans for the shutdown. 30% believe Democrats are to blame. Today, Trump chickened out again, caving on his plan to cut $187 million from New York's counterterrorism programs, posting on social media, quote, "I am pleased to advise that I reversed the cuts made to Homeland Security and counterterrorism for New York City and state. It was my honor to do so. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DJT." He failed to mention the cuts he made. The New York Times reports the frantic efforts to undo the rolling cuts made to Homeland Security grant programs, with the last $100 million slashed over the weekend, underscored the chaos unfolding as the Trump administration moves to punish political adversaries by stopping the flow of billions of dollars in federal funds that had already been allocated nationwide. Trump is using the shutdown to go after his perceived enemies in blue states like New York, withholding $18 billion in infrastructure funding. But those cuts have consequences for the vulnerable Republicans in those blue states. That sent vulnerable New York Republican Mike Lawler scrambling to let New Yorkers know he does not share Trump's desire to make their lives worse.
Yes.
Congressman Lawler strongly opposes these harmful cuts, which undermine, amongst other things, our counterterrorism efforts on our critical infrastructure projects in New York. He has fought to secure investments in infrastructure that drive economic growth and improve the quality of life for all New Yorkers, end quote. And while some Republicans are scrambling to show just how serious this shutdown is, the Trump White House is posting racist memes to push baseless claims that what Democrats want is to give those who enter the country illegally free health care, which is not only not true, it's also against federal law. What Democrats are demanding is an extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies, which most people understand is keeping the cost of their health insurance premiums down and saving them money. The Wall Street Journal reports President Trump has projected unwavering confidence that he is winning the messaging war over the government shutdown. But behind the scenes, his team is increasingly concerned that the issue at the center of the debate will create political vulnerabilities for Republicans. Advisors are worried that the GOP will take the blame for allowing healthcare subsidies to expire, raising costs for millions of Americans ahead of next year's midterm elections, according to administration officials. Inside the White House, aides are discussing proposals to extend the enhanced subsidies for the Affordable Care Act health insurance plans, the officials said. Trump hasn't yet decided whether he will endorse such a proposal, according to officials. The Wall Street Journal reports that White House officials, quote, think they have the upper hand for now. They've amplified a Republican talking point that Democrats want to give health care to people in the country illegally. Unauthorized immigrants aren't eligible for ACA benefits, and they aren't allowed to enroll in Medicaid under federal law. But some federal dollars do go toward emergency Medicaid coverage for migrants without legal status. Ending the subsidies would result in higher premiums for more than 20 million people. Of the 75 congressional districts where at least 10% of the population is enrolled in the Affordable Care Act, 62 are in red-leaning Florida, Georgia, and Texas, according to Kaiser Family Foundation, a healthcare policy think tank. More than half of the 62 districts in those states are represented by Republicans, end quote. I don't know how many of America's 340 million people have followed the sombrero meme war that's being waged by Trump and Vance for their perennially online fanboys, but I'm pretty sure it's less than the number of people who cannot afford to pay more money for the health insurance they already have, especially at a moment when inflation is up and the job market is worsening. The shutdown provided a respite for Trump from the bad economic news. The Bureau of Labor Statistics did not release the September jobs report that was scheduled for this morning, so we're stuck using a secondary private sector report from ADP, the payroll company, which shows a weakening employment situation in America. Private sector businesses lost 32,000 jobs in September. The July jobs report, you'll recall, was so bad that Donald Trump fired the Bureau of Labor Statistics commissioner. That, of course, didn't help him in August, which had dismal job growth. And just this week, Trump had to withdraw his nominee for the man to be the new BLS commissioner because he was too unqualified even for Republicans to vote for him. Think about how bad of a nominee you have to be to have Republican senators who confirmed such luminaries as Pete Hegseth and RFK Jr. to reject this person. So that's the state of the shutdown tonight in normal terms. But these are not normal times. Here's how Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez sees what's happening in Washington right now.
Like it is.
She told my colleague Chris Hayes what this so-called shutdown fight is really about.
Do you know what eating an avocado can do to the heart? Avocados are the fruit.
Please listen.
I think there's two things that are happening at once, and this is something that's very important for people to understand. One, there absolutely is an unprecedented abuse of power, destruction of norms, erosion of our government and our democracy in order to prop up an authoritarian style of governance. That is happening. However, they are weaker than they look. And it is important that we remember that, because what they rely on is the impression of power, the perception of inevitability, in us giving up in advance to say, oh, what's going to happen if I stand up, etc. Nothing's going to happen. They rely on that perception of inevitability and power so that people comply in advance and acquiesce in advance and give up in advance. And at the end of the day, Donald Trump is at record levels of unpopularity in his tenure. The Republican House is at record levels of unpopularity. They are underwater across the board, and they know it. And that is causing them to double down.
Joining us now is Timothy.
Thank you guys for coming in on Bay Solo Channel this morning. I want to say thank you. God bless you, and need to play this over and over. If you didn't hear it well, if you didn't hear it from the beginning, hit that like button on your way out, hit that like button coming in. For those that are here this morning, I hope everything is good. Much love to you too, Joshua. You take care. Thank you for coming in. And I just got to put this up so people can understand what's really, really going on. Oh, thank you, Joshua. That's so sweet of you. Are you serious, Michael? Good morning, Michael. Peace, love, and blessing to you all. What y'all doing up this early? I'm an early riser. I have to get up early. I sleep good at night and I wake up early. Yeah, But I had to play this about what this orangutan is doing to the country. A lot of people don't know behind the scene he's doing stuff. He's cutting money from the blue state, and all the time that he got Democrats and Republicans living in the same state. So he's hurting a lot of people. February of 2025, the analyst by KFF highlighted key findings regarding enrollment by congressional district. Democrat district has 9 million people that are enrolled in the Affordable Care Act market. The Republican district, 12 million people are enrolled through the Affordable Care Act market. The high enrollment district of the 75 districts where at least 10% of the population enrolled in the Affordable Care Act. 47 are represented by the Republicans. By the Republicans. All you got to do is Google it of who enrolled in this Affordable Care Act. So they got something to worry about, Michael. Joshua said, hi, Michael. That's so sweet. They got something to worry about because it's not affecting people just on Medi-Cal. It's a lot of people on Medi-Cal. 47 are represented by Republicans. This is a district. 75 districts where at least 10% of the population is enrolled on the Affordable Care Act plan. 47 of the districts are represented by Republicans. Total Affordable Care Act enrollment, the record high total over 24.3 million people signed up for Affordable Care Act plan during the open enrollment period for 2025 plan year, according to the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Service. Affordable Care Act enrollment growth has grown since over the past 5 years, particularly in states that did not expand Medicare, many of which are potentially considered the red states. Since the introduction of the premium tax credit in 2021, states that President Orangutan Trump won in the 2024 election accounted for more than half, 55% of the national enrollment growth. 55% enrolled in Obamacare Act, which is Affordable Care Act. In the states such as Texas, Florida, and Georgia, they enrolled in the Affordable Care Act more than double between 2020 and 2025. The truth must be told. I don't see how people can believe the orangutan and his posse orangutan, twisting words, lying, trying to hold out, trying to stop people from having health care, because that's where the money lies. That's what scammers do. That's what hustlers do, scammers. They go where the money is, and it's in the medical right now. And that's why they're trying to take it down. So the money can go into the donor's pocket, the trillionaires and billionaires' pocket, and the orangutan pocket. Of course, he's going to share it with those Republicans that's voting in his favor. But his ratings is going down. The people are getting upset. It's a lot of people is not for this, and they are Republicans. They do not like what's happening with the orangutan trying to expire Affordable Care Act. It affects you, me, everybody in this world. So God bless you guys for coming in. And then Michael said, hey, Joshua. Oh, yes. Bay Solo signing out. May God bless you. May God keep you all. Don't worry. Don't let this affect your life. Keep in mind, we are all in this together. Millions and millions of people are enrolled in Medicare and Medicaid. So I don't understand why these Republicans and the Republican president is going that direction when it's going to hurt millions of people And I don't think they're going to get voted. Why would you vote for a person that will hurt your family like that? Hurt you from going to the doctor? People have dialysis, cancer. I mean, some people just got some medical help that doctors don't even know what it is. They don't know what it is. And then you're going to take away or let it expire so they can hold that money in their pocket? Millionaires against the families of America. And then he wants to destroy the inside of America. Adam Schiff said he bombed a ship. He bombed a ship out there, blew it up, killed all those people. I'm serious. I am so serious. I need to find that for you guys. Let me find out about what happened. What this man has done. He has done so much. It is outrageous. I'm gonna go in my history. My history will show me what Adam Smith spoke about this morning.
So we are in day 3 of the government shutdown, and how is the president using his time to try to bring an end to this pain he's inflicting on the American people? Well, first, in the day leading up to the shutdown, Donald Trump spent his time addressing hundreds of generals and admirals, telling them that they needed to train in American cities.
We should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds.
And consider the American people in those cities to be the enemy within.
It's a war from within.
That's how Donald Trump spent much of the day leading up to the shutdown. But once we were in the shutdown, Donald Trump literally took aim at more ships in the Caribbean, blowing up this ship off the coast of Venezuela. So there was no legal authority to do this. In fact, I will be taking up a resolution, a war powers resolution I introduced last month to prevent the president from using military force in this way without the approval of Congress and in a way that violates both U.S. and international law. He has also been taking aim at American universities, threatening universities that if they don't accept his right-wing cultural agenda, that they will lose out on federal funding. So he sent this missive to various high-profile institutions of higher learning, including one in California, the University of Southern California, USC. So Governor Newsom responded, I think appropriately, by saying that any university in California that gives into this extortion by the president cannot count on getting funds from California. You can't be an institution of higher learning, you can't promote academic freedom if you're going to agree to sacrifice that academic freedom for federal grants under Donald Trump. You just can't have both. So this is also what he's been doing during the shutdown. He has also been trying to methodically punish his enemies. So, of course, he's threatening to lay off thousands and thousands of people, something he was doing before the shutdown. But he's taking particular aim at federal monies going out to states that didn't vote for him. So he's announced that he is canceling $18 billion worth of transportation projects in New York. This is a way of punishing New York, and I suppose punishing Democratic leadership like Chuck Schumer or Hakeem Jeffries. But he's also taking aim at other Democratic states, including California, saying that he is canceling $8 billion of federal grants in the renewable energy space at a time when energy costs are already going up. Canceling these energy projects in California and other states is simply going to mean higher utility bills for the American people. So for a president who promised to reduce prices, he is pushing your prices even higher. I don't recall a president, and I've seen several of these shutdowns, who didn't try to minimize the harms during a shutdown, but instead tries to maximize the harms, but only in certain parts of the country. Now, of course, this kind of petty, vindictive brand of politics practiced by the president, he was practicing well before the shutdown. He was, for example, canceling all the Army Corps of Engineers flood projects to try to protect against floods in California, obviously having nothing to do with the shutdown. So he's continuing this, but now blaming it on the shutdown. But he is also pushing out propaganda on government websites. So you'll see these flags on government websites blaming Democrats for a shutdown that he has invited, that he has insisted on because he controls the White House and Republicans control the House and the Senate. But you'll see these banners on websites. The administration has also doctored the reply emails of federal workers, coercing federal workers to send out a statement to whoever emails them saying they're out of the office and blaming Democrats. Imagine how you would feel if your email had been taken over by a hostile federal government and used to push out propaganda for the president. So he's using your tax dollars to push out propaganda on government websites and using the emails of government employees without their permission to also push out propaganda at taxpayer expense. Now, this is not all of what the president has been doing during the shutdown. He has also been spending a lot of time on his phone. Of course, on the way into the shutdown, he posted this offensive meme of Hakeem Jeffries wearing a sombrero and the artificial intelligence voice of Chuck Schumer saying all kinds of disparaging and horrible things. But more recently, the president seems to be very proud of pushing out this video portraying his own head of Office of Management and Budget, Russell Vought, as the Grim Reaper. So this is the President of the United States during a government shutdown, basically pushing out juvenile things on social media. Now, in all that time, in all those 3 days, what has the president done to bring together the parties in Congress and end the shutdown? And the answer is nothing. Nothing at all. No meetings, no discussions, no nothing on the president's part. What is he doing to meet the chief concern of Democrats? That is that right now, as we speak, millions of Americans are getting notified that their health insurance premiums are doubling, that they're going up hundreds and hundreds of dollars every month, that they're going to lose their coverage if they can't afford that massive increase. What is he doing to address the healthcare crisis that he created? And I will tell you in a single word, nothing. Because apparently that's not as important as putting.
Now, y'all heard everything. I had to put it out there. I just couldn't rest this morning without putting it out there. You too, Michael. You have a great weekend too. Thank you. Thank you for stopping through, moderators. With baseball appreciation. I'm tight tongue. I appreciate my moderators. Y'all gotta excuse me because it's still early here. Thank you guys so much. I had to put that out. I just couldn't just wait later on to next week or something. I need people to hear this now. And if those that don't care, you don't care people, I care. I care for you that don't care. I care what happens. I care about everything because we got an insane president right now that's losing his mind. Just how he blew up a ship in the water without authorization from the Congress. So they got to go now and go back and forth, fight over that the man didn't get permission. He's not going to get permission from nobody. This man don't believe in following the law. So y'all pray for yourself and the family and pray that this enemy don't even come close to you with that ICE situation. Because they're snatching up anybody now. It ain't about no who. They're snatching anybody up. So y'all be safe and be blessed and enjoy your weekend. Peace, love, and blessing. Bye. Solo's out of here.